What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. Today is pretty exciting because for the first time I'm going to a Pitt Race track. I've never been there before, and obviously I've never been there with the F12. So it's going to be the first time where we can kind of push the car, at least in a safe environment. With us today we have Brian as well, Pittsburgh Views in his M4. He bought this car like 6 months ago. Hardly had it out at all. So beautiful day today as well. Although they are saying that we might get rain, so we'll see how this day ends up. Got to fuel up a little bit, huh?
Yeah, I didn't eat lunch, so I'm starving. So
Brian didn't pay his power bill, so they couldn't cook any food.
What's that?
You didn't pay your power bill, did you?
My wife didn't pay the power bill.
He's blaming it on the wife. I love it.
I thought I was an automatic, so, but apparently it's not.
Oh yeah, food blog, food blog. All right, so we're all teched in. We're waiting around here. I have the helmet, of course. Last time I used this helmet, everyone was laughing at me because I didn't pull it down far enough, and my chin was sticking out. Looked like a complete idiot. So I understand why people are laughing.
Hey,
So much waiting here, Brian.
there's a little bit of waiting. Usually I try to get here really early and fill up some of the cars, but there's not that much excitement going on in the pits today. So
A lot of BMWs, though. You're in good company.
it's
Got an
always
M2 over there. Got a couple M4s.
It's always better to get early and relax than get all hyped up and get here late. So
Yeah. But I'm excited. I'm excited. So I'm not going to try to be some, track king here, because first, I'm not. Secondly, I don't want anything to happen to the car. But I do want to push it a little bit. It's going to be fun. I'm excited. All right, so Brian and I were such rookies that we missed the parade lap. Where we actually got a feel of the track. Now Brian's done it before, I've never done it. So now we're actually the first ones to stage in our novice group here, green wristband.
yeah, so we're gonna play follow the leader. I'm gonna try and show Mike the line on the track. See how well I can do with that.
It's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be awesome. Now we have to have both our windows down. So audio inside the car is probably gonna suck ass, but it is what it is. We'll make the best out of it.
We're gonna have a good time regardless of what happens.
I'm not here, again, I'm not here to break any lap times or anything. I just want to get a good feel for the car in a safer environment, not Mexico.
Same here. Feel out the M4.
Yeah, Brian, you're just getting to know your car too. You've had it for 6 months. And
I don't think you put more miles on this car than I put on that.
Yeah, I have almost 1,000 miles on this car in 3 weeks.
You got me beat.
All right, here we go. Let's get it. So I'm following Brian the whole time here, at least in the beginning. And like I said, both windows have to be open. I don't know how good audio is going to be. There we go. Smelling something, and yeah, I'm gonna slow down.
And these ceramics
I know.
should be almost indestructible.
Yeah, they weren't gripping as well as I wanted. They need to be warmed up properly, but and the thing is, like, it's the first car I have with ceramic brakes. So when I give it some brake pressure, I feel it's not gripping properly. Maybe I just need to push it harder. I mean, I'm not sure. So I just want to yeah.
And the reason I ask that is sometimes if they're new pads, when you bend them, they'll have a period of no, I don't want to work until they cool down. If the brakes haven't been really used, right? I don't know who had it before.
All right, so this is my first car with carbon ceramic brakes, and when I came down the first straightaway on the second lap and I hit the brakes, they were not gripping the way I figured they would, because they're carbon ceramics. They should be pretty indestructible, and it might be because they're not really properly broken in yet, or I doubt that they're shot, because the car only had 8,600 miles on it, and I don't think this car was tracked. So when I felt that I didn't have proper braking power, obviously I want to be cautious, so I took it into the pits, and now I'm just letting them cool down a little bit, and then I'm going to take it out again and see how it feels. Like I said, this race car stuff is kind of new to me. I've had powerful cars, but not cars like this, so I just want to be cautious. Again, I'm not trying to break any lap records here or anything. I just want to get a proper feel for the car, and that's what we're doing today. All right, it's the second go around. So it's giving me a ceramic brake disc system failure, or if it's just the brakes that are overheated, I'm not sure. So yeah, it's the end of my track day. All right, so on this left screen here, while I was driving, it popped up and I only saw it quickly. It said something about the ceramic brake system and check them or something like that, and then that pop-up disappeared, and then we have this little icon right there. So like I was saying, there's something with these brakes, and the car had 8,600 miles on it when I bought it, so they're carbon ceramic brakes. They're supposed to take, or be able to take, a beating, and I've done like what, 4 laps, and unless the guy who had this car before me constantly tracked it, and I have a feeling that he didn't, they shouldn't be beat up. So yeah, I'm gonna have to look into this. But yeah, kind of crappy track day. First track day I have in this car. All right, so the rotors and the brakes are obviously warm, but from what I'm just seeing here, just looking at the pad, it's got plenty of life left in it, just from looking at it real quick. At one point I could feel some kind of smell, but I was unsure of if it was a car ahead of me or if it was this car. Since we have to have the windows down, whatever smell coming from a car ahead of you is, going to come right into your car, but it's just very weird. So I'm going to see if this light stays on, after shutting the car off and after the brakes cooling down. All right, so the car's only been off for like 2 minutes, but I'm going to start it back up and see if it gives me a light. So it's the cooling to the carbon ceramic brakes that's having an issue. Yeah, and look, I was just going to show you guys that these flaps, they open and close on their own when the brakes need more cooling, and they're currently still open, but not on this side. Huh, that's interesting. So it might be that this flap is broken, so it's triggering a sensor for the brakes. Like on the first laps we were doing, I felt like the brakes didn't have enough grip. I didn't notice that the second time around. The brakes felt just fine. So I think it has something to do with these flaps. is triggering some kind of sensor because this one's not open, but that one is. Oh wow. Ha! Freaking flap won't close. Yeah, so that's what it is. It's triggered a sensor somehow. At least it's not the actual carbon ceramic discs or the pads, because that's, yeah, expensive. This is just something, this warranty will cover that. Master Tech Brian, working on the Ferrari.
Yeah.
What are you seeing there, dude?
It's hard to see, I can't.
Basically, we figured if I turn the wheel, he could look in there and see if there's some kind of like a wire or something like that that came off and is not holding the flap open. Man, that's the most annoying fly ever. But we didn't see anything.
Yeah, it's hard to see from this angle. That's what it probably is, just like a little arm with a motor that opens and closes, and the arm popped off, but it's, I can't see it there, unfortunately.
I mean, it's impossible to figure out what caused that, you know what I mean? Yeah, because see, you have to get in, like way in there, and then there's a little net there, right here.
Yeah, I was hoping to see behind this,
So the first track day I ever did with the AMG at Poconos, I got my first flat tire at 150 miles an hour.
Maybe we should invite
Now the first time I take the F12 to the track, and everyone's always like, "Oh, you had some bad luck with cars and stuff," and you know, maybe I have a little bad luck, but I don't really care all that much. I mean, this is gonna be fixed.
You can't make this up. The M4,
it is what it is. So Brian's M4 has done very well, right?
Knock on wood, yes.
Yeah. I've gotten to know my car today a little bit, how the brake system works and all, and then, you know, this issue right here, it's just like some wire, some kind of arm that opens and closes that thing that broke. I'm not going out for another session. I'm just not doing it. I know it's just a flap or whatever, but it's getting dark too. I want to get home.
It's getting there, it's getting there.
Brian's gonna stay, I think. So check out his channel.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out one, try to hit the last session, see what happens, and so far I've had pretty good luck.
Yeah. All right. Home we go. Okay, so home again, the day after. And the flap is of course still open. So Ferrari calls this the active brake cooling system. I actually read about it here in the owner's manual, and it says in the event of a carbon ceramic brake cooling system failure, which is this right here that we got, avoid hard use of the brakes. Track use. So it kind of makes sense that I ended my track day when I ended it, because these brakes do indeed need proper heat to work properly, and then when they get too warm, it's when this system activates. So you don't want to be on a track where, you know, the brakes are not warm enough like they were the first go around, where I felt like they weren't gripping properly. At the time I didn't completely understand that, but I do now. And when I've been just driving around town before we did this track day, the brakes have been just fine because I've just been doing normal driving. And one little issue is that I will be going on a pretty long trip here very, very soon. And very shortly after I get back from that trip, the car is actually going on service. There's a couple little things that needs fixed, and it's also going to get, you know, service, oil change and all that good stuff. And I noticed this cup holder is broke. It only has one of these on the left side. It's missing one here on the right side, which I didn't notice initially when I bought the car. I noticed that after the fact. So minor little things like that. I can hear a whooshing sound from the driver's side here when I'm on the highway, so it's like the window doesn't close completely. That's going to be taken care of, and then again, the car's going to get serviced and so on. But I will be putting another about 1,000 miles on the car before that. We are going to be going on a little road trip here pretty soon. More on that later. So my track day wasn't a complete success, but it wasn't a waste either. I truly feel like I got to know the car a little better, and that was the main reason that I took it to Pitt Race. So as soon as it's back from service, we are probably going to take it back. I don't know if I'll take it back there, but we will take it back to a track because I really want to push the car, and I didn't get to do that yesterday. So that's it for today's video. I do hope you guys still enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you're stopping by for the first time and you haven't already and you want to, please subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.